We learn early on to treat love as something we do, or a word we use to describe our mood. You do something kind for someone, and in that moment you are being loving. Because of that, we tend to view love as a transaction. It requires maintenance. It has to be maintained through good behavior, and we assume it can be lost the moment we fall short of expectations. The difficulty begins when we take this fragile, conditional model and apply it to God. This creates a constant weight. We end up living as though we are one wrong move away from losing His favor, worried that our weakness will cause Him to pull away. As long as we look at God through this lens of a business deal, we stay trapped in a cycle of trying to pay for a connection we don't yet understand. We often describe God as loving, as if it's a character trait He chooses to put on. But the source text describes something much more permanent. Loving is an adjective, a description of an action. But the text says God is love Himself. It isn't just something He does. It is a noun that defines who He is. This identity didn't begin with us. It was there before the oceans touched the shores and before the mountains thrust upward from the sea. Because He is the origin point of love, we have to let His nature define the word, rather than using our own experiences to define Him. While our own faithfulness fluctuates from day to day, God's affection remains steady. That if this love is guaranteed regardless of what we do, does that mean we can ignore His wisdom and live however we want? We can find the answer by looking at the role of a father. A father who loves his children doesn't give them the freedom to destroy themselves. True love creates boundaries. God guides us away from paths that lead to our harm, pointing us instead toward choices that are good and life-giving. His love is a framework for us to thrive in, not a reason to choose chaos. When you realize you are known by a Father who never walks away, the way you think about Him changes. You no longer follow Him because you're forced to, or because you're trying to win an approval you already have. Instead, the response becomes natural. You find yourself seeking Him and trusting Him, offering quiet prayers of gratitude when you recognize His hand in your life. Encountering love Himself doesn't produce forced compliance. It creates a magnetic pull back toward the Father. This new perspective eventually shows up in how we treat the people around us. It manifests when we help someone in need, forgive a person who hurt us, or choose kindness over our own selfishness. We aren't the source of this compassion. Every time we encourage a weary soul, we are simply reflecting the heart of God to the world. He isn't a distant ruler watching from afar. He is a Father whose love stays constant, even when everything else changes. In the end, our kindness acts as a mirror, showing the world the truth of the universe, that He is love Himself.